today we discuss experiment number 3. Experiment number 3 is based over power spectral density. So here we are going to determine the power spectrum of a given signal. Now here first we go for why the power spectral density is needed. Okay, so here you can see in the white page what is power spectral density function, right? Power spectral density shortly you can describe as a PSD. Remember, this is one of the function will be needed in applications. Okay, so I tell you here the applications also, but see here what is power spectral density function. So it shows you the strength of the variations, means the energy of that signal. So that's why energy as a function of frequency. Okay, so that's why here PSD shows the strength of the variations as a function of frequency. Okay, so generally here the main stress is over the energy of that signal. Okay, in other words, it shows at which frequency variations are strong, okay, and at which frequency variations are weak. Okay, so stronger frequency and weaker frequency signal are get identified with the help of these functions. Okay, the unit of PSD is energy variance per frequency width, and you can obtain energy within specific frequency range by integrating PSD within that frequency range, right? Now here what can you do with power spectral density? So here see now what can you do with that power spectral density. Remember, actually as I said, you can utilize it in many applications. So that's why here in terms of different kinds of motors, as well as in terms of various other our day-to-day life applications, this power spectral density will plays an important role. So just by observing this function, okay, we understand how it is useful. So see, PSD is a very useful tool if you want to know frequencies and amplitude of oscillatory signal in your time series data. Okay, so that's why the PSD's tool is necessary. Example is given. Let us assume you are operating a factory with many machines, and some of them have motor inside. So generally the induction motor or DC motor or AC motor, mostly in factories, three-phase or single-phase induction motor are plays an important role. For that, if there is an damaging of any rotor or any winding, then in that cases generally this PSD function is mostly utilized, because you cannot see inside the three phase induction और सिंगल फेज इंडक्शन मोटर. फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आपके पास फैन है और फैन में अगर कोई एक आधा वाइंडिंग, अगर आप फैन को ओपन करते हो और उसमें से कोई एक आधा वाइंडिंग का एक छोटा सा पॉइंट वहाँ से अगर ब्रेक हो गया है, तो ऐसे सिचुएशन में आपको वहाँ उसे डिटरमाइन करना पॉसिबल नहीं होगा. सो दैट्स व्हाई here with the help of this technique you can able to detect it. Okay, you detect unwanted vibrations from somewhere. Okay, means whatever the vibrations will be coming, okay, that unwanted vibrations you can able to detect. Okay, you might be able to get a clue to locate offending machine by looking at PSD, which would give you frequency of vibrations, right? तो जहाँ जनरेटर्स है बड़े बड़े या बड़ी बड़ी मशीन्स हैं, तो वहाँ पर इस PhD का मोस्टली यूटिलाइजेशन होता है, राइट. PhD is still useful even if data do not contain any pure oscillatory signals. Example, if you have sales data from an ice cream parlor, you can get a rough estimate of summer sale peak by looking at PhD of your data. We quite often compute and plot PhD to get a feel of data at an early stage of time series analysis. Looking at PhD is like looking at a simple time series plot, except that we look at time series as a function of frequency instead of function of time. Frequency is a transformation of time, and looking at variations in frequency domain is just another way to look at variations of time series data. PhD tells us at which range frequency range variations are stronger and might be quite useful for further analysis, right? So this is about the theoretical description about the power spectral. Now here we are going to implement this power spectral density function. Okay, so I am going through the program, MATLAB program. Okay, here see T is written with this statement. T is equal to 0 colon 0.001 colon 0.6, means the time period is represented with the help of this T between 0 to 0.6, and the frequency time deviation is shown here of 0.001. Okay, got it. Now one signal is generated, that is X name signal. Okay, this signal is generated like this. X is equal to sine in bracket 2 pi ft plus sine 2 pi ft. Frequencies are different. Okay, so here the frequencies values are given, one is 50 and one is 120. Both signal are get added and X signal is get prepared, right? You can observe it with the help of a plot name function. Just I am showing you how you can plot it. Okay, just I copy it, right, and I take a blank file. Okay, in that blank file I put it and just run it. Okay, but you will not observe. Okay, for observations you need a plot name function, and with this plot name function you just write X, right? So after writing this statement, now run it, you see the signal is get plotted. So here it is a combination of sine 2 pi ft, means f1 t, and second is sine 2 pi f2t, right? So both signal are get added. So see here I have already written the expression X is equal to sine 2 pi 50 into t and sine 2 pi 120 into t. The result is in front of you, right? Now I am going ahead, next one statement. See, the next signal is generated by using a random function and X signal. So X signal is get added with the random signal. Okay, so here signal is written like this: y is equal to x plus x is your earlier signal and 2 into rand randn. Okay, it is a random function and in bracket size of t. Okay, here the size of t is calculated, so according to that the value of random function is generated. Now we see how this signal is generated, right? So I just write here, after this x, y, now we plot y instead of x. See, just run, you can look, this signal will be looks like this, right? So you will see the signal y is in this fashion. Okay, now the next one statement is subplot 211. So here graph is that graph that I show you, that plot is shown you, that is getting divided into two parts. That's so it shows you two rows, one column, and first place. So here subplot 211 is written, means two row, one column, and first place, right? Now here plot function is used. Okay, so here while using here the value of x and y is shown. X on x-axis there is a 1000 into t in bracket 1 colon 50, means here time is defined, and y is defined with that's earlier time, that y is in with 1 to 50. Okay, so this signal is plotted. Okay, we can see the entire things. Okay, at the bottom, okay, you can see title and x label. Okay, I am picking up these lines. Okay, and I copy it. Okay, for your understanding, we first run it. Hope you got it, you are getting it. Okay, now here you can see, you can look here, the signal is plotted like this. So here the signal is showing here a signal corrupted with a zero mean random noise, right? Here mean zero mean is taken. Okay, so here I written a title, signal corrupted with a zero mean random noise. So here you can see the random noise is generated. ओके, ये आपको जो दिख रहा है ना, अप एंड बॉटम जो स्पाइक्स दिख रहा है, इट इज़ एन रैंडम सिग्नल. ओके, विथ रिस्पेक्ट टू टाइम ये आपको यहाँ इस तरह ऑब्जर्वेबल हो रहा है. ओके, गॉट इट. ओके, एनी डाउट विथ दिस? नो? यस, राइट. आई एम गोइंग अहेड फॉर द next one statement. Now here we are going to find out the fast Fourier transform of that signal, means for obtaining the power spectral density, a measurement of the energy at various frequency is calculated. So that's why here 512 is a constant value is taken in consideration, and with this y is calculated. So here capital Y is calculated. So I just take this function and put it. I take this statement and put it here. Okay, just I skip this plot. Okay, for skipping I write it in comment form, right? So मैं उससे सिर्फ सेमीकोलन परसेंट सिंबल दे दिया. परसेंट सिंबल का मीनिंग है यहाँ पर एज अ कमेंट, राइट? मैं अभी क्या कर रहा हूँ, इसको मुझे सिर्फ प्लॉट यहाँ पर, आई एम इंटरेस्टेड इन प्लॉटिंग दिस वाई, सो दैट्स वाई हियर मैं उसे यहाँ प्लॉट कर रहा हूँ. सो दैट्स वाई प्लॉट ऑफ वाई, राइट? चलो देखते हैं ये वाई का क्या आता है. तो इसका क्या एफएफटी आता है, देखो. सी, जस्ट आई एम रनिंग. ओके, यू विल सी द प्लॉट विल बी लुक्स लाइक दिस. ओके, यहाँ आपको ये रैंडम सिग्नल होने की वजह से और इसका जो एफएफटी लिया तो एफएफटी आपको कुछ इस तरह ऑब्जर्वेबल होगा, राइट? तो ये यहाँ y कैलकुलेट हो गया. ओके, y इज इक्वल टू एफएफटी ऑफ y, 512. Okay, 512 is a reference value. That reference value is taken here for finding the power spectral density. Okay, so the maximum and minimum energy level of the frequency signal will get calculated with reference to this value. Now here one formula for getting the power spectral density is like this: Pyy is equal to y, okay, dot asterisk. Okay, it is a multiplier symbol. Okay, conjugate of y slash 512. Okay, so it gives me power spectral density. This is a standard formula for the measurement of energy. Okay, so this formula is taken from the book. Okay, so here the frequencies get defined. Okay, frequency is defined by referring this 512 value. So that's why 1000 into bracket 0 to 256. So that's why there are 256 steps. Okay, and in these 256 steps are get divided by 512. Okay, so this will be the frequency considered here. then subplot 212, and now here it is plotted with the title and label. So that's why I just take these all these lines. Okay, I say here I am going for execution of this program. Okay, now there is nothing to copy from this to another one, so that's why I just run this program. Okay, you can look the output. See, you will see the corrupted signal with zero mean random noise as well as the frequency content of y. Okay, so here the frequency content of y is showing you here the maximum and minimum frequency signal. Okay, so in this fashion you can able to run the power spectral density program, right? So I hope these things will clear your idea about the power spectral density. So thank you very much.